Hey everybody, and welcome to part 3 of the Thing playthrough. Now this episode is going to be awesome because I don't think there's that many tricks and shenanigans I can do in this episode to bypass enemies or break the game or anything like that. And here's just something else. This this screen right here is fantastic. I love it to pieces. Number one, it shows the kennel. Anyone who watches the movie or watched the movie knows how important the kennel in the thing is. And secondly, it shows what is supposed to be Pierce with his flamethrower pointed and the flamethrower tank on his back. Well, once you've beaten this game, you know that Shadow doesn't line up with the flamethrower and tank. It's supposed to be the flamethrower and tank, but you also notice that it looks oddly creaturistic. And that is a hint to what is to come in this level. It's a hint. Won't spoil anything else. It's a hint. Alright, so we have, I forget his name, Carter and Cruz. So, I still have a cough or a cold or whatever I have. It's been a few days since the last recording. I know it probably doesn't look like that, but it has been a few days. So, we're going to tell these two to stay in here.
Area looks
We'll
secure.
stay out here. We're going to open this door. Now you notice that one can't be broken. Watch this. There we go. So that was a hard jump scare. Because you couldn't break that box no matter what you did. And then there's a save icon, or save station here, which you probably should use, because this level can be relatively hard. Also, speaking of which, they did add something I noticed, which I'm actually really kind of amazed by. If we go to gameplay, they actually have a difficulty slider now. So in the original, there was no difficulty option. You had a auto aiming you had auto aiming like selection that had low, medium, and high. And all that did was make it harder for your gun to auto target enemies. So low means it barely auto targets at all. Medium means it will auto target a fair bit, but not too much. And high means your gun is suddenly like the guns in Wanted, where they can go around corners and just target enemies willy-nilly without any real aiming from you. But they also added this. I don't know when they updated the game. They probably updated it to fix the glitch that prevented you from getting a platinum, and they added a easy, normal, hard, and very hard mode. So right now I am on normal, but I kind of want to see how hard and very hard would be. So honestly, that's interesting. If that actually works like it's supposed to be intended. Because, well, it's as intended. Because there are certain sections in this game that are genuinely tough, and I can't imagine how tough they would be
Okay.
a little bit harder.
I need an engineer.
Yes, sir.
So now we've unlocked Pierce. The funny thing is, we can go in without these guys, or we could go in with these guys.
Pierce, it's Blake. It's okay. Put your weapon down.
No way. You're infected just like all the others.
I'm not.
Your word ain't shit, Captain. I found a report that says the only way to prove you're not one of those things is through a blood test. Now, there's a medical kit near the kennel. You go get it and come back here, and I'll watch you do the test.
Also, I do love the cutscenes here. The cutscenes are weird in this game because they are. I'm taking your ammo, Pierce. There's the kennel key. But the cutscenes are weird in this game because in the original, I never had any issue with the cutscenes not working properly. But since all the cutscenes now are done in engine, it seems, that means any sound effect or any like noise that can happen in game can also be heard in the cutscene. That's the reason in the beginning of the game, the gun sound was so loud in comparison to the actual speaking and noises because, well, they're separate, as I explained already. But this remaster really bonked some of the cutscenes due to the new engine, but it honestly makes it so much more enjoyable because while I've been shitting on this remake, or not remake, but remaster, it does do a lot of things that I do like. And I think with a little bit of tweaking and some more additions, this could definitely be one of the best remasters Night Dive has ever done. Actually, no, Quake 2 and Quake are probably the best remasters Night Dive has actually done. Oh. So, he needs ammo. He needs a gun. You could see there, I'm about to say you could see there he was starting to panic. So
All
we'll
right,
tell
yes,
them to stay
sir.
here. We can
I
actually
need an
fix, no, we
engineer.
can't. We can't fix that one.
Okay.
Does he have to be able to follow me?
All right.
No. There we go.
Yes, sir.
Wait, oh, he backed off. I was like, where'd you go? Because I put him here. He backed off a little bit. As far as I know, the NPCs cannot die of hypothermia or anything like that. You can, but they can't for some reason. Look at that. I also want to say that this version is so much easier to play than the original version. The original version had kind of like a pseudo tank control scheme. Well, not really tank. I think it was like full like 3D movement, but the way you aimed was vastly different. Because I think you aimed with the triggers instead of an analog stick, and the movement was also a lot less responsive. So it played like a typical survival game, like Resident Evil or something like that. Like maybe Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil Remake or something like that. But the controls weren't quite that bad, but they were bad. I went back to the original PS2 thing, and yeah, it plays vastly differently than this remake or remaster. But the new control scheme with the like aiming being really fast, being able to actually like I think you could lean in the original, but being able to quick like aim like that, being able to just use the analog stick to aim, it's just so much better. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Then I think squares reload.
Damn, it's cold. All right.
All right. We could actually, let's take not Carter, but Cruz back. Let's leave Cruz back at base. I don't really want to give him a weapon. Actually, we could leave both of them at base, to be honest. But, see, Pierce, I like how Pierce counts as a squad member, but you never get to control Pierce. That's just how it is. You just never get to control Pierce.
Yes, sir.
So now we can go to the kennel. Also, this game does reward exploration a little bit. Ironically, some of these maps are huge, and there's so much to explore and see in them. A lot of references mostly, but still. Like, you can explore a ton of these maps. Like, you can go off in that distance if you want to. There's nothing there, but you can. And as a kid, I remember I would often just walk around these levels to see what I could find. And I was really hoping Night Dive...
This over with.
I was really hoping Night Dive would have added collectibles or extra secret weapons from the movie that you don't see in this game if you bothered going around and looking at things.
This cold is killing me.
But they didn't do that, unfortunately. We're gonna put him here.
Okay. We got company.
So is he out of ammo? No, he's got 15. But I genuinely think this would be one of the greatest games. I think it's the greatest game of all time, one of. But I genuinely think, oh dear, I'm about to die. Come on. Whew. Oh, there we go. I genuinely think this would be one of the greatest games of all time if they had just gone ahead and like remade it. They kind of did. Like, I understand they kind of did. But when I think of a remake, I think of like more stuff added to it. Because there's so many systems in use in this game that don't get as much use as they should have. Also, I think there's a hypo in here. And then we can close that. And now you... The shooting also feels really good. It might not look really good, but it does feel really good. Those are armored, can't break those. Like, there's a lot of love that clearly went into this game and this remastered. And I think most
Yes,
of the
sir.
game's issues came from it being rushed during development initially. Alright. But I genuinely think, otherwise, this is a fantastic game.
Okay. We've got to find shelter.
And some of the squad moments are just badass. And it is fun learning how to break this game after you've beaten it a few times, and learning how to properly use your squad members to the fullest. There's
Yes,
something
sir.
really amazing about that. I know I have a weird relationship with this game. I love it to pieces, but I see its flaws. I also highly respect this game, even though it was a rushed, like, classic. And I respect the remaster, but I also understand they could have done so much more with it, even though they did do a lot. Mostly with the combat, the movement, and the entire squad system revamp. So they did do a lot. They just definitely could have done more, especially since this game is priced at, I think, $29.99 at launch.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. I just don't want you to have a gun.
You got the kit? Good. The report said the hypo contains a chemical that reacts with blood. Do it. We'll soon know, one way or another.
Now I'm gonna show you what I already know.
Bad blood. Also,
Man, maybe you will get us out of this.
Get me a weapon.
and then he turned. And he's dead.
Bastard.
So here's the funny thing. If you want, you can actually take Pierce's flamethrower. He won't trust you anymore. And he will actually try to attack you after a little bit. So, for example, if you stand right here and you don't give him his weapon back, he will eventually go slightly cuckoo and try to steal his, like, your weapon or his weapon back. But, so, this is a scripted scene. They turn no matter what, even if you have protected them the entire time and left them in here, they turn. And if you use a hypo on them before the scene, they will classify themselves as human. So this is a scripted like event to show you how to check to see if someone is infected. And in the original, the hypos were completely useless, like absolutely useless. Why can't? Is that a pistol? No, that's a clip. In this game, the hypos are still relatively, well, in this remaster, the hypos are still relatively useless, but they're not as useless as they used to be. You can still play the entire game without using a single one, though. And now we go on to the third level of the thing. See you next time, people.